Did y'all see this week Bell Hooks coming for Beyonce? Basically, she called her a terrorist, completely anti-feminist, and a terrorist because of her impact on young girls. What did y'all think about her comments?
Girl, I just found them very flagrant and they stink. Like it's very foul, like pungently foul. I just don't understand why you would liken her to a terrorist considering what's going on with the Nigerian girls right now. Like there's very real terrorist activity going on against women. And for you to use that word, I don't expect everybody to, embrace Beyonce with open arms. Right. I get that. But for you to say that type of word about her decision is just, it's disturbing to me. And I think, that's like one of the biggest problems I have with, I consider myself a feminist in that I want women to be treated equally, but the movement itself is so problematic in that they do so much policing of women. Like, you don't want Beyonce to wear this on the cover. You don't want Beyonce to talk about her money. You don't want Beyonce to this. It's just, it's like, okay, so how is that different? Exactly, it's the same thing you don't want men doing to us, but you feel comfortable.
It's very anti-feminist.
Yeah, that's very anti-feminist to me.
Like, what about what Beyonce is doing is gonna necessarily harm a child? And if anything, I'm always of the thought of your mother or your sisters or whatever women are literally around you every day in your home should have more influence over anybody else. So let Beyonce entertain over there. You have to make it clear the difference between entertainment and real life. And if you've taught your children that, they should be good.
One thing, I feel like people get a degree or a few degrees, I think in the case of like Bell Hooks, and other people on the outside think automatically everything you say is right. Yeah. Right, it's the gospel truth, it's a fact. Something that really bothers me that black people do is when you have like a Bill O'Reilly out here saying that Beyonce is detrimental to young black girls because her sexual freedom with her husband in her marriage is making young girls go out here and want to get pregnant. I hate when we do that because out of all the people in the world, this is a singer. Right. Her real influence is that she makes people dance, and they want to dress like her. Yeah. If your child is out here getting pregnant at 15, talking about "We Be All Night," love, then that's on you because you're not watching.
Absolutely, but it was smart on her part to not become this overtly sexual until she was married. So it's what are you really mad about? There was some other sort of form of policing this week with Willow Smith and the photo she had with 20-year-old former Disney star who was in bed with his shirt off, and then Willow was lying on the bed next to him. And, everyone got up in arms as they usually do about, the Smith kids. And, they're very grown, I guess, for their age to be young teens. TMZ caught up with Jada, and she basically told them.
No comment. Here's the deal. There was nothing sexual about that picture or that situation. You guys are projecting your trash onto it, and you're acting like covert pedophiles, and that's not cool.
Which I think is true. It may be an inappropriate thing, like we were talking about yesterday. It's like, but how many teenagers are not laid up in a bed somewhere, not even being sexual, like you just chilling. But nowadays everything has to be Instagrammed and photo, and it never goes away. And then you can just interpret it a million different ways. I get Jada and Will like giving their kids so much freedom, but I'm also like, it would seem to me they would kind of want to shelter them from a little bit of that.
No, I get that and I understand that, but it's like it's very difficult when you've already exposed them. You let them decide that they were going to be actors and singers, and so now they have a fan base who wants to know, what they're doing. They probably think there's nothing in it. It's just nothing wrong with it. It's innocent. I still think people think it's inappropriate. It was inappropriate because they think it's a sexual thing. I feel like it's all about the sexual aspect. People are saying it might not be sexual, but it's inappropriate. Then why is it inappropriate?
Right.
Because you think it's sexual. Because he's 20 years old, but you don't know that he's been friends with these kids since they were much younger. It's like they've known this boy for years. You can look on Google. I put a link in the Jada Pinkett response. There are so many images of all of them together, hanging out, taking Instagram photos. Him and Jada, him and Willow, everybody hanging out and having fun. And like I said to you yesterday, I think if there was a camera put in the room of everybody else's 13, 15-year-old children, then you would be getting criticized heavily too, because like I said, when we were 13 and we were teenagers, we were out here just doing what we wanted to do. And there was nothing wrong with that because you were given the freedom to try and learn things and test things and know what is and isn't right to do.
And the fact to me is like, it would be different if it was like Willow and old dude taking a selfie in the bed.
Right.
But clearly
Turning
there's
each other
someone
down.
else in the room.
Right.
So this was a picture taken by a third party. I mean, people just, and like she said, you're just projecting your trash on it. And when it's the Smith kids, it's always something. I mean, she could stand there in a 3-piece suit with her hands folded. People's like, why is she dressed like a dude? I mean, it's like it's always something with them. I mean, when Jada started letting Willow experiment with her hair, that's when black women started coming for her like, oh no.
Exactly.
Bad
And
parents.
from ever since then, it's like they cannot leave that girl alone.
Did y'all see this week Apollo pled guilty to the fraud charges that he's facing? And so the big question everyone has is whether Phaedra will actually stay with him, in the assumption that she didn't know this stuff was going on, you know, altogether anyway. And could you stand beside, you know, a man who's gonna go to prison for however long?
And who
For the
doesn't seem to
second
feel no type
time.
of way about it.
Right. You know, I'm
It's spilled milk. I'm like, really?
a little more than that.
That's how you compare jail time? Spilled milk.
Right. Because he's already done it once.
Sugar on the floor.
And he's
the thing
like,
is, you
oh,
have
another 5
children
years.
now.
That's my point. And that's
Exactly.
why I'm not more disappointed in Phaedra, but disappointed in the fact if you knew this was going on, then don't be having kids with this man.
Exactly.
If you want to be messy and get your money that way,
Right.
whatever. But now you have 2 children
affected
who
these
not gonna
boys,
have a father,
sons.
who are boys. Exactly. Let's repeat the cycle.
Yes.
Like,
Come on now.
but you're supposed to be this upper echelon Southern belle. Like, no.
No, nobody believe that. Girl, I'm telling you, it's no way in hell.
No.
So a convicted felon. Well, I mean, I don't know if you. It's just a felony when you steal from the
Yeah.
government. A felon comes out of jail and then is able to open up a debt collection agency. Who?
While rebuilding their house.
Who's gonna let you handle money? You can't handle money at McDonald's, more or less a debt collection agency.
Right.
There's no way in hell.
Exactly.
So I don't know how she was able to convince herself all these years that he was making his money clean.
Right.
No.
Right.
He's stealing money like he was stealing money before.
Mm-hmm.
And you married this dude. So I just want to know like what Phaedra had to do with it. How could you knew where this money was coming in, and I'm sure she's probably helping him with it. Honestly, to keep up that lifestyle.
Right, and that was Angela Stanton's claim that back in the day they used to flip cars and checks and all kind of stuff, you know, and Phaedra filed that lawsuit against Vibe that I don't think has gone anywhere, you know, since that time, some astronomical amount, you know, like I've never been involved in anything illegal and blah, 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 but it's like,
I think she knew what he was doing,
Yeah.
but I don't honestly, as naive as it sounds, I don't really feel like she was involved in that. I think, you know, women, you know, you see this and you're like, oh, you know, you see that your husband is back on like that bull and you're like,
yeah.
it's like, what can you really say? I mean, they can really have a regular conversation on that show
Right.
without bickering about something random. So I think she just kind of, she tries to talk to him all the time, because I mean, even when you see him when he got in that fight with Brandon on Real Housewives, and she tried to talk to him about that, he was so on 10, like he was yelling at her, like, you know, I'll leave you here, you know. It's like you can't tell certain people's stuff. Unfortunately, they have children in it, but once they already had it, it was like, what are you going to do anyway? Like, what can be done in that situation?
But I don't think
anyway?
he ever stopped doing it though. You know what I'm saying? Like you met him.
I don't think he came immediately right out and went back to it. I think because he got on that show with her.
But how was he
and-
making his money?
But you know, he started his like fitness videos. But I'm saying, like, I don't think he immediately.
Y'all could have opened up a fitness studio or something.
Right, but I'm saying, like, I don't think he immediately came back out and was like, I'm finna be back on it. I think when she was on this show,
Right.
and she was making all this money, then he was like, I need to keep my shit together. Yeah.
Right, because you said he felt some type of way, right, about her
Yeah,
making
that's
more
what he did,
money
right.
than
Yeah,
him.
and so that's when I
So-
think I don't think he came out with the intention that, like, I'm gonna do this again because jail was so much fun. Like, I think he just kind of felt like, I don't really have too many options anyway.
Right.
This is something that I'm
But
good
you
at.
actually do. You have more options than
Than
most
most
convicted
people.
felons coming out. So why would you waste that opportunity? You could have opened a fitness studio, or you could have helped her with her funeral business. But you didn't.
Exactly.
And I mean,
that's
I
true.
get kind
He
of
don't
not
like he
wanting-
don't like to be
he
looking
wants
like
to
her
do his own
lackey.
thing and act like he's the man of the house, when in reality she's the breadwinner. Do you think she should stay with him?
I think if she still really loves him, if the love is still there, then yeah. But when I see them talk about each other, or when I hear them talk about each other, it doesn't seem like the love is still there. He's saying that he feels like she's more worried because he didn't say she's more, but he more referenced the fact that she thinks she's worried because it looks bad on her and her businesses and for Bravo, and less on, yeah, because you know we have our kids and you know I'm sad. You
We're
know,
gonna be
she knows she's
apart
gonna
from
miss
one
me.
another.
Right, I know she's gonna miss me. And you know what I'm saying? And even when she's talking about him, like, I will stand by him through this till this process is completed.